It was supposed to be a beautiful city park, complete with baseball diamonds, pavilions, and a massive fishing pond.
But a Syracuse man says the city is going back on its original promise to put all that in. He decided it might be time to get Gephardt. Matt started looking into all this.
Right through this area, right through here.
Okay.
It was way back in 2006 that Chad Scholer was approached by Syracuse City. They wanted permission to run a pipe right through his yard. It's kind of a big deal because it means Chad cannot build on or even around the pipe forever. And for all that trouble, they offered him a mere $500.
And I thought I was doing the city a big, huge favor.
So why did Chad agree? Because, he says, of what else his community was supposed to get.
This is what that should have been.
This is what you were promised?
This is the blueprint.
The blueprints show what Chad says the city told him was going to be built around the corner from his house. A massive park and sports complex.
Baseball fields, pavilions, all kinds of goodies for a regional park right there.
And a fishing pond, which is why they needed the pipeline. More than a decade later, the pond is in, but that's it. The city has sold off the rest of the land, much of it to development, with hundreds of new homeowners now paying taxes on their pond-adjacent homes.
As far as I'm concerned, the city, because of this pipe, has made a lot of money off of residents, which is fine, that's their job. But
You were promised a park.
exactly.
For its reneging, Chad says he has asked the city to let him tap into the pipe to water his lawn. The city has refused.
Do you feel like you were lied to?
Well, basically, yeah.
Did the city break its promise?
I would say no.
Brody Bavero is Syracuse's city manager.
Our plans had to change.
He and Mayor Michael Gailey agreed to answer questions about all of this, even though the deal was made before their time at City Hall. I asked them to take a look at the blueprints for the park that never was.
Neither of us were there. There is no documentation that he was ever promised that.
It's right here.
No, that's not documentation of a promise. That's a plan.
Okay, but he was handed this. He didn't do this himself. He was handed this by Syracuse city officials and told, here's what you're going to get.
That's what he says. I don't know if that's what actually happened. There's no documentation. And I can't run a city based on hearsay and rumor. You know, we have to operate based on what agreements are in place.
Scuttling plans for this park? Great Recession money troubles, but mostly UDOT needing to put in a road.
And if change doesn't happen, things die. And this initiative that was begun then had to change because of the moving part of the West Davis corridor.
Is it fair to the people who gave up property rights with the assumption this was coming?
Well, I don't know anybody that gave up property rights without being compensated.
Well, I've been pissed for years. Because I know that I just didn't do the right thing.
So where does this all leave Chad? With the original $500, not even enough to put in new grass after the pipeline was put in, he says, and a tough lesson learned about trust in his local government.
What was promised for us down there never came about.
In Syracuse, Matt Gephardt, 2 News.